Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share another interview questions answer discussion session which was held at Bajaj Auto Limited for the first round of technical interview. Let's get started. Again, I would like to say that here nothing is wrong or right. Whatever will be the my answer, that means if somebody asks me these questions, whatever will be the my answer that I am going to share with you. Let's deep dive into that. What is the first question? Difference between import mode and direct query. So we know that in import mode we get the one copy of data in Power BI in our Power BI data model itself. So we can view the data, all the DAX functions we can apply, especially time intelligence functions is very required for all of the projects. And also the performance wise import mode is faster than direct query mode, but only the disadvantage is if the data size is very large, then only direct import mode will not work fine. So that time definitely we have to think about the direct query mode. Otherwise import mode is better than direct query. Next, direct query. In direct query we know that there is no data will be copied within our Power BI data model itself. Only a connection is established between Power BI and the database server, and we know that direct query will work if the data is connected with any database server. And in case of direct query, lot of limitations, disadvantages are there. We cannot view the data, as we know that no data is getting copied within our data model, Power BI data model. So all the transformations and cleaning mostly needs to be done at the source level, because a lot of DAX functions are restricted here, especially time intelligence functions are not allowed. So performance wise it is slower. Only advantage is if the data size is very large, then direct query will work fine. So already we discussed that import and direct query, and already we have discussed pros and cons. So considering everything, import mode is always preferred with compared to direct query mode. If the data set is not very large, then we'll always go for import mode. Next, what kind of project domains you have worked on? Nowadays, these are the very hot domains for the Power BI data analysis project. So among these, you can choose any 2 or 3 as per your expertise. So especially financial domain project, one example, capital marketing, risk analysis, stock market analysis. These are the financial domain. Good example for financial domain. Next, e-commerce. E-commerce most popular means in e-commerce or retail stores is supply chain management and logistics. In healthcare, it is insurance claim processing. This is very hot topic nowadays. And telecom or banking domain is mostly customer churn analysis or customer churn prediction. Next, how do you handle complex data transformations in Power Query? Can you provide an example of a challenging transformations you implemented? We do data cleaning and transformations in Power Query. Among these few complex transformations are there, like conditional column creations. So using this feature of Power Query, we can create some column which mean based on some condition. So to fulfill the requirement, we create conditional column. Next, another complex transformation, data types conversion especially from number to date. If you try that convert a number into date format, especially dates are given, but that is in the number format. So now if you want to try to change that date type, you won't be able to do that. First you need to convert that number to text format. Then from text to date you have to do that, and that is also not very straightforward all the time. Different options are there, like using local. So using that type of thing, we do that conversion of date from text. Okay, so this is one complex transformation. Sometimes we have seen that that date format is really very conversion of date format is really very complex. Next, unpivoting, pivoting and unpivoting. That means converting rows into columns and columns into rows. This feature is pivoting and unpivoting. So as per the requirement, as per the data you got in which form of data and how the data are gathered over there. So based on that, we do pivoting and unpivoting for cleaning and transformation, especially for transformations purpose. Next is writing M language. What is this M language? This is basically MASAP language. Power query is written in using MASAP language. So whenever we do some transformations in Power query, we have seen that at the right side all the steps are getting recorded, right? So what is happening or how that is happening, at the background M language is generated. Whatever transformations we are making, that M language code is generated. So the transformations we are doing using the user interface, graphical user interface. But if we want to do the same transformations without using user interface, then we can do that writing M language. If somebody is having expertise in writing M language, he or she can perform all the transformations using M language, whatever we do using our user interface. Sometimes we have seen that if the a transformation is complex, that is not possible to do using user interface. That time we have to go for M language. That means we have to write that transformations using M language. Okay, so this is writing M language is complex transform. One example, good example, best example of complex transformations. We go to the advanced editor. There we can see whatever transformations we have done using user interface UI that has been generated using M language. So we can modify that M language. We can change as per our requirement. Next, what languages you have faced while doing a project? So in data analysis project, the most challenging part is data is not clean. So in 95% project, that is the biggest problem. Data is not clean. Data is coming from different sources and in a different form. Data transformations to fulfill the requirement means your lot of time will be consumed by using means for the cleaning and transforming task. Next, writing complex DAX. So if to fulfill the requirement of the report, we have to write some DAX, complex DAX. Next is performance optimization of the report, because in data analysis project, every day the volume of the data will be increased. So performance optimization is the biggest challenge in Power BI project. Next is RLS implementation. If the RLS is static RLS type of thing, then it is not that complex, that is very simple. But if it is dynamic RLS, then also it is complex. Not only that, if the RLS, we need to implement the RLS in the hierarchy level, then it will be a really very challenging and complex thing. That means in our database that a hierarchy is maintained, means one manager is there. Under that manager, supervisor is there. Managers can see the data in the country level or region level, but the supervisor can see the data in the district level or store level. In this type of thing, if we need to implement this type of RLS implementation row level security, then it will be a really good big challenge. Next, types of refreshes in Power BI. So we know that three types of refreshes are there. One is on-demand refresh, full load refresh, and incremental refresh. On-demand refresh, whenever we want that, we can go for that on-demand refresh. We have seen that option is there in Power BI desktop as well as in Power BI service. Full load refresh, vertically, that's in Power BI service, we can schedule the refresh, that is full load refresh. Next is incremental refresh. Incremental refresh is basically whenever we don't want the complete means the entire data set refresh. We want to refresh only the recent data, maybe for last 1 week, for last 1 day, for last 2 days, in this way. That means here the refresh time will be very less, and if the data size is increasing, if the data size is very huge, then it is better, always recommended to go for incremental refresh. Next, what is DAX in Power BI? DAX is basically data analysis expressions. We need this DAX for calculating complex calculations. We create lot of calculated columns and calculated measures. For that we need DAX functions. Now here you can mention few example of DAX functions. Calculate is the most popular DAX functions in DAX. Without calculate we cannot think of DAX. Okay, And a lot of other functions are there, time intelligence functions like QTD, MTD, YTD, means the total QTD, total MTD, total YTD, and also QTD sales, YTD sales, MTD sales. Not only that, different date related functions are there, date functions, format function or year functions, those functions are there. Not only that, for RLS implementation, we use one popular function, that user principal name, and to make one inactive relationship to active, that is use relationship function. So these are the very popular functions in DAX and utilize utility functions. So you can mention a few of them. Next, how do you perform data cleaning and transformations in Power Query? We know that Power Query has its own ETL tool, which is Power Query Editor. So using Power Query Editor, we can do that. Next, how do you connect to data sources in Power BI? We know that Power BI supports 100 plus data sources to be connected. So we can do that using our Power BI. Next, write a query to fetch top 5 employees having highest salary. So this is very popular questions which is mostly asked in all the interviews. So here we have to use the window functions, which is dense rank functions. Dense rank function, using dense rank functions and subquery, we can achieve this thing. Basically what we are doing, we are writing one subquery which is select star dense rank over order by DESC, because here we are here the order will be in descending order because we want to see the highest salary. So then we are fetching this subquery first, then we will display then the outer query will execute because we want to display top 5 employees. Okay, so that's why the rank is less than equal to 5. Next, this query is also similar to previous one. The difference is, in the previous one we were displaying the records of 5 employees. Here we will display one particular employee's details who is having second highest salary. So here also the logic is same. We will use dense rank functions and also use subquery. Using those we can achieve this thing. So here, as we are displaying only the one employee's details, so where salary means ranking salary is 2. That's it. Next, the difference between rank functions and dense rank function. We know that dense rank functions ideally will means dense rank functions of whatever means however we will assign the rank, the dense rank functions will do that. So in this example, 3000 is one value, 2002 values are there, then 1500 value is there. So ideally 3000 will have the rank 1, 2000 will have 2000 values, that means ties are there. So 2000 values will get the rank of 2, and 1500 will get the 3 value rank 3, and 1000 will get the rank of 4. But in case of rank, what happens if ties occurs, rank will skip one value. So here what is happening, 3000 is getting rank 1, 2000 are getting rank 2s, but in case 1000 or 500, instead of getting rank 3, it is getting rank 4 because rank function is skipping one values after the ties. How many ties will be there? Based on that, it will skip those many numbers of values, ranks. Okay, so this is the difference between rank and dense rank. Next, difference between Power BI Desktop and Power BI Service. Power BI Desktop, it's a free software, can be installed in your local machine. Main purpose is to design the report. But what is Power BI Service? Whatever we can do in Power BI Desktop, that we can leverage in Power BI Service. But its purpose is little different. It's basically cloud-based service. Main purpose is to collaborate within the organization. That means for deploying the report, for collaborating the report, for collaborating the dashboards, Power BI Service is meant for. So here what we do, if the ideal situation is we design and develop the report in using Power BI Desktop. After that we deploy that in Power BI Service. There we create the deliverable products, like we can create dashboard by pinning important visuals from the reports. Not only that, we can share reports, we can share dashboards through Microsoft Things, through official emails. And not only that, we can create content pack, that is app, final product app. So whatever means we can customize our app, means how maybe 10 reports are there, 2 dashboards are there, but we don't want all these things. We want to create one app that will have only 6 reports and 1 dashboard. So taking those 6 reports and 1 dashboard, we can create one app and we can share that app with our end users. And not only that, we can directly assign roles, means we can directly assign permissions to the end users as a viewer role in Power BI service also. So this is the main purpose of Power BI service. Next, how will you optimize Power BI reports? So this is one important question and mostly asked in all the interviews, especially in the second round or in the managerial round. So I have already created another video only based on this question, that how to optimize performance of Power BI reports. So I am sharing the link in the description box. You can visit this. Now please, if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. It really motivates us, and also press the bell icon to get the next videos when it is getting released. Next questions, how ETL process happens in Power BI. Power BI has its own inbuilt system, which is Power Query. In Power BI desktop, we use Power Query to perform ETL process. In Power BI service also, ETL process is there, Power Query editor is there. What is that? That is basically data flow. In Power BI service, data flow is there for performing ETL. Okay. Also, we have seen that this data flow is there in Microsoft Fabric, in Power BI, Azure Data Factory. Okay. Next, what is difference between star schema and snowflake schema, and how will you know when to use which schema respectively? Star schema is basically whenever all the dimensions tables are directly connected to fact tables. Okay, but in case of snowflake schema, all the dimensions are not directly connected to fact tables. Few dimensions are related, means few dimensions tables are connected to another dimensions tables. Then that dimension is connected to fact tables. That means maybe indirectly that dimension table is connected to fact tables. That means the layering of dimension tables are there because more normalized. Because in snowflake schema, dimension tables are more normalized. For Power BI reporting, we always prefer star schema because performance-wise star schema is faster than snowflake schema. So if we need to maintain, we mentioned that one optimization of report optimization, that we'll always go for star schema. Now, if the based on it, it's completely based on the reporting and the requirements of the projects. But if we see that a lot of hierarchical relationships are there, and that is required for our reporting, then only we can go for snowflake schema. Otherwise, we always consider star schema. Next, how will you perform filtering and its types? Filtering is to restrict. We know that to restrict some data, it doesn't give flexibility to user, unlike slicer. That means we know that slicer, what happens in slicer, end users are getting some choices to select that choice, and based on that choice they can slice and dice their data. But in case of filters, it's not like that. Filters is for developers implementations. It is already implemented in the report. Okay. Now, 3 types of filters are there: visual level filter, page level filter and report level filter. Visual level filter, we can apply that filter is applied to that specific visual only. And if we apply some filter, like the filter will work for the entire page, that is page level filter. And if we apply any filter like report level, that means that filter will work throughout all the pages of the reports. Maybe that report is having 10 pages, that filter will work for those 10 pages. So that is basically report level filter. Next, what is bookmarks? Bookmarks are feature, basically one nice feature of Power BI that allow users to capture and save the current state of the report page, including filters, slicers, visuals and drill-through settings. Bookmarks are useful for creating interactive and customized report experience for end users. So here means using buttons and toggles buttons, we can create a lot of dynamic reports. We can save the space, design reports space within the report page. So a lot of things we can do using bookmarks. 2 types of bookmarks are there: static bookmarks and dynamic bookmarks. What does static bookmarks do? Save the state of a report and do not change dynamically. Dynamic bookmarks adjust dynamically based on user interactions and filters applied. Difference between drill down and drill through in Power BI. So both are used to visualize hierarchy level categorical details, but in drill down, we implement within a single visual, within a page only, within the same page. So how it works, that next level of hierarchy can be visualized. For example, we want to see that category and subcategory and item labels data, means details. So first we'll see that category, then if we drill down, then we'll see the subcategory. Again, if we drill down, that means we are going to the depth. That means first we are seeing the highest level of categorical value, that is category, and the next subcategorical value. That means hierarchical relationships, means hierarchical levels are there. We are displaying that. So in this way we can implement. In drill through also we implement the same thing, but the designing part is different. In drill through, what we do, next level hierarchy is visualized in the next page. Basically through the next page navigation we'll be able to see the next level. For example, I want to see the subcategory. Category is there on the first page, and now if I want to see the subcategory, it will take me to the next page. So page navigation is there. Then I can see the subcategory. Again, I want to see the one specific item details. Then it will take me to the next page. So in this way, drill through works. So basically, we are page navigating. We are seeing the details. Next, difference between calculated columns and measures. Calculated column is physically added to the data set. You can visualize the data. It needs physical memory to store the column. But measures are generic in nature. It's a calculation. You can visualize it only if you apply it to visual. Otherwise, measures are not visible. So it doesn't take any physical memory. Difference between slices and filter. Both are used to filter the data, but slices are flexible for user interactions. User can slice and dice their data dynamically. Filters are for developers' implementations. Next, what is use a pandas, matplotlib, seaborn and libraries? This question is from Python. These are the Python libraries. So what are the usage of Python libraries? Pandas is used to deal with data sets. Means if we are connecting, means we are getting or fetching data from different data sources. In Python, we use pandas to fetch the data. Matplotlib is used for creating visualizations. In Power BI, we are having a lot of UIs, right, for creating different types of visuals. But in Python, we do that thing using Matplotlib. Seaborn is used to make statistical graphics. This is one Python libraries which is used for statistical graphics. Next, difference between sum and sumx. Sum is an average function, aggregator function. It works on existing column. Sumx is an iterative function. It works on every row. It works on expression especially. For example, if your sales column is having one column that amount of sales. Now, if we want to calculate the total sales, what you can do, you can achieve that sum of sales amount. So now here you are getting the total sales. But if the scenario is like this, your table, your data set doesn't have the direct sales amount column. Okay, sales amount column is not there. Then what is there? Two columns are there. One is price and quantity. So now how can we calculate sales amount of sales column? So amount of sales column will come price into quantity. So in that case, sumx functions will work because that sales amount column is not present in the data set, right? So sumx will work in this way, that sales equal to price and quantity. So if the column is not existing, then sumx can be used. Okay, so this is the advantage of sumx, that if this type of column is not there. But as performance wise, sum is faster than sumx. So if the column is existing, sales amount column is existing, then we'll always go for sum, never sumx, because sumx is iterative function. The performance is slow. So the performance of iterative functions is always slower than aggregator function, especially sum. Okay, so this is the sum is having pros and cons, and sum x is having pros and cons. So based on the situation, based on the requirement, we have to decide which function we'll go for. Now, how can you optimize a SQL query? So for optimizing SQL query, we follow these steps. Avoid always star, means select star, because star will select all the columns. It will make your performance low. Use indexes on required columns. Avoid functions in where clause. Avoid leading wildcards in like. Use inner join for efficiency. Use union all instead of union. Try to avoid subqueries for performance. Use common table expressions. Use limit for large data sets. So it's end of our discussion. If you want to get the next video, please comment in the comment section. Thank you.